In this episode of the Better Together podcast, I sit down with a friend, a colleague, and one of our members here at Compound CrossFit as she gets ready to start her own podcast. So we're re-airing her first episode where I got to sit down and interview her, find out about her history. As an athlete, we get to chat about what fitness means to her, and we get to understand why she's moving from her amazing short form content to something a little longer and giving voice to women in the space, women that are over 50. So her podcast is called Rise and Thrive, Strong Her After 50. Please enjoy. Like, subscribe, comment, and ring that bell so you get notifications. Here's episode 3, which is Monique's episode 1. Welcome to the podcast. This is Rise and Thrive, Living Strong Her After 50. And I have the absolute pleasure of chatting with our host of that, Monique Rodriguez. And so here is the plan. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk to an awesome friend. I'm gonna talk to somebody I've known for years in a lot of capacities, both professionally, on a friend level, as a client, and we're just gonna get her story. It's a really cool story. She is incredible on social media already in short form, and it's time to take that to long form and find out about her first, and then she's gonna be the one to introduce us to a bunch of really cool guests. So, Monique, welcome. This is super cool.
Yes, thank you for having me.
You have been crushing it with the short form stuff. I really love all the cool videos you're doing.
Thank you.
What makes you want to go into something a little bit longer, a little bit more in-depth, rather than the 20, 30-second clips?
I just want to continue to share my journey and also to include others and have them share their journey as well.
That's why I'm so excited about it, because I see your short form stuff and it's catchy and it's flashy and it's fun and people are liking it, people are commenting, and you've got so many folks that you connect with from so many different worlds, but I don't think it really captures the full spectrum.
No, I don't think it has, and it's probably just me. I don't know, it's new to me. It's new, and you just trying to like put yourself out there can be a little scary, right? The short form is safer, ideally. At least for me, I think it's safer. And so, I don't know, just trying to get myself out there, just a little nervous.
Yeah,
it's just new.
That's good. I mean, I've always known of you as somebody that tried different things, that tried hard things. So I just see this as one more iteration of that. And I know that at some point you'll move on to something even different beyond this. You could, once you start crushing this game.
We'll see.
Yeah. So tell me professionally, let's start outside the gym, because we'll eventually get to the fitness stuff, because that's what we're both crazy passionate about. But professionally, what does life look like for you? What do you do in the office?
So I work in higher education, and that's how we met.
Yeah.
We were both at ECPI for a little bit, and then I currently work for Arizona College of Nursing. So I'm an achievement coach there, and that means I pretty much I hold people accountable.
I like that.
Right?
Yeah.
You sign up for school, that's a huge investment, as you know, working in higher education. And I just want to make sure that you're getting your investment, that you believe in yourself. Everybody comes from different walks of life, and just being a support person to that individual and just help them get to the finish line. So
yeah, I love that. Is that your title? Is coach there?
Yes.
Oh, love that. Yeah, that's so cool.
Student achievement coach. Yeah.
Great. When we met, you were in student services, so you were already like in that world, and you had done that previously as well.
Yes. So this is about my 9th year Working in higher education. And I actually started out in admissions, believe it or not, sales. And I love sales. But then I was presented with an opportunity to work a little bit more hands-on with the student. And I really thrive in that area. I just want to get the best out of people.
Good. I can tell you love it. I know that's that helping people,
Yes.
right, and supporting people
Yes.
is part of your personality.
My purpose is service, and I do know that. I know it hands down. Service is my jam. I thrive off helping people. I do, and especially if I can see them flourishing, that's a huge reward for me. Knowing that I played a role in that person's success, whatever that looks like. If it's collecting supplies for underprivileged children so that they can have supplies when they go to school, or if it's, cheering from afar to make sure that you're still showing up whenever times get hard, I like to be that person.
I imagine with the type of university that you're working at, this isn't your traditional semester length type school.
No, so both ECPI and Sator College, they had like the 5-week rotation, still accelerated, and the school that I'm currently at is also accelerated, but like your GE courses, 8 weeks rotation, but then once you make that transition into your core studies, nursing, then they're 16 weeks long.
I mean, that's fast.
It is
8
fast.
weeks. That's, so I know a lot of folks are doing that with families,
Yes.
with full-time jobs.
Yes.
There are times when they need like significant help. Like you're really lifting them up when they're in tough times.
Yes, they have challenges like the rest of us, and it shows up, right? It shows up when they're not attending classes, they're not submitting their classwork, they're not answering the telephone,
Yeah.
So when life hits them, it shows, and we try to be there for them. And I tell every student, like, your situation is no different than anybody else. It's a different name, different face. But if you allow us to help you, trust us, then we can get you to the finish line. And I know that's challenging for a lot of people because they probably have people in their life to say, I'm going to help you, and never did. So there's that. So here I am, a total stranger, saying, I'm going to be there for you and I'm going to help you. It takes them a minute for them to get that trust.
Yeah. When you were talking, I was like, trust.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I imagine you proved to them pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's the great thing about me, if I was to toot my own horn.
Please, yeah. That's why we're here.
Yeah, I have the ability to create relationships, and I take that very seriously. I am cautious, but that is a gift that I have. I'm able to create relationships and lasting ones. So I'm always true to myself. I will be my authentic self always. And if you're for me, you're for me. If you're not, then you're not. And it's okay.
Absolutely. And that helps people let their guard down. That helps them let you in, and then you're coming in to help them, and then that snowballs and cascades into their success, which I imagine for some of these students, that success is super meaningful. I mean, this is a career that is going to last them a lifetime. And tell me what that means to some of these students, where they're coming from, and if once they reach that finish line, at least at the university, right?
Okay, so I do have a student that I met a year and a half ago, and she was life was lifing, right? But at the end of the day, she signed up for school to become a nurse, and I'm chasing and chasing and chasing, and finally I had to ask her, what is your ultimate goal? What do you want to come of this? What is stopping you? What's getting in your way? When I started asking her those questions, she said that she took a minute. She had to like stop and kind of like pause and reflect. She did get in her feelings a little bit, but at the end of the day, after reflecting, she started to take accountability. Once she did that, she has taken off. She's actually one of my mentors for the school covering a PALS program. It's a peer academic leadership program. And she's actually a part of it. She was able to turn her situation around, and she's thriving. She's doing a really good job. So
I love that, right?
Yeah.
So you thrive in helping people, and then they in turn, they thrive in the environment that they're in with you, and then they're going to go on to influence others.
yes, and that it's a domino effect, right? You see the top person, you see your peers doing well, you speak life into them, you celebrate their small wins, and eventually becomes a big win. And I think everybody wins at that point.
Yeah, it's not a zero-sum game. You're not giving. You were never the type of person that would keep score.
No.
And and why would you, right? This is proof that that's not beneficial.
No, first of all, working in higher education, there is no score to be kept.
No.
Because I think you're just as an instructor, as a leader, you're just as invested and you want them to win. You do. You ultimately want them to win too. So you're equally as invested, equally as passionate to get the student to the next round, to graduation.
Yeah, graduation. When they walk across that stage and they
you're like,
smile and they hug you.
All
and
the tears from both parties, including myself.
Yeah.
The student, it's a win. It's a beautiful thing. And it's just like, wow, like you did it. Look how far you have come.
Talk to me about the fact that you're essentially helping build the next generation of nurses that take care of the rest of us.
Nurses are very important to society. I find them to be more important than the doctor, honestly. And I say that because they're going to be there from the beginning to the end of whatever you're going through. Your initial the registration, right? You get through the registration and they come in there, they're going to assess you and they're going to make sure, the doctor has all the information. They'll hand you off, but then ultimately they come back, they're going to continue to check on you and to make sure that you're doing well. It's the nurses that are caring for you 12 hours of the day, right? Because they're working 12-hour shifts.
Yeah, right. And where the doctor sees you for
A
5 or
snippet,
6 minutes.
Right? And they're getting their information from that nurse. So nurses play a very a pivotal role in your care. So every person that I talk to, they always say how the nurse impact them. If I ask a student, why are you choosing this field? Yes, they have relatives that are in the field and they may have encouraged them to look into it, but ultimately it's how the nurse took care of them or someone close to them and they are in that field.
And that nurse took care of them. Usually, if you're seeing a nurse or you're in the hospital or in an office, you're being taken care of in a pretty precarious situation sometimes. So since we're on the topic of health, let's just take maybe just a half a sidestep and let's talk fitness, which I think is directly tied to it. What does pursuing your goals in fitness mean to you?
So my goals are ever changing, and I think it just depends on the season I'm in at that time, whether it's running or CrossFit. It's ever changing.
Where did this start? How long have you been in the fitness game? in some fashion.
I've always been an athlete ever since I was a little person. I was always an athlete. And
What was that first sport?
cheer. I would say cheer. I mean, some people feel like cheer is not a sport, but it really is.
Counts. Definitely counts. I would consider cheerleading to be very gymnastics, right?
Yes.
If you would just want to define it as purely moving your body through space, they do it as accurately as anybody else.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. So it first started off with cheer, and then in high school. So my mom was strict, and I had to figure out how to get outside more often. And when I was in high school, one of my classmates, she was like, Monique, you should run track. We travel. She said travel, I was already there. I was like, I'm signing up. I had no idea what I was getting into. I didn't know if I was like good enough to run track and field, right? And so that's kind of like where it all started for me, was high school. And I actually went to college on a collegiate scholarship because of it. So it was actually pretty good.
Yeah, that's awesome. What events did you start in? What did you run in at university?
Oh my goodness. So my high school coach, he made us run cross country. That was our conditioning.
Seems like you didn't necessarily love that.
No, but I had more of appreciation for it when I got to college. So college track and field was more of a job. Had no idea. It wasn't, unlike high school, it's all fun and the frills, right? I get to to college, and like I said, it was more of a job. And so like the responsibility and like what was expected out of you was on a grander scale. When you're 18, 19, I don't think you understand you just don't understand. But I later did, and I had to go back to my roots and start training like I did in high school, because in college, you wasn't forced, right? My high school coach said, you are running this cross country for your conditioning. In college, I did not have that. It was just, you train for your event and then you just go on to the next thing. But I didn't realize I needed more. So I went back to my roots. I started practicing with the cross country team, and I can just see things getting better for me as an athlete, because you had to compete to get on a relay team. Things wasn't given to you just because you were on a squad. You had to work for it. So I had to change some things around, and I think a lot of that too was maturity. You're just young and don't know. But again, I went to school to get away from my mother.
I will say that there's lots of runners that I question. Are you running for something, or are you running away from something? And
I was definitely running away, because, you always think your parents are strict and mean. She wasn't. Well, she looked cray-cray, yeah. But, not to the point where I had to necessarily run away from her.
Right. No.
That was just, me trying to get out and experience and just explore and figure out life.
That was a good outlet for that.
Yeah. And then I took some time off after college because I had a child. And then later in life, I connected with a young lady back in Ohio, and she told me she ran, and I'm like, no way. And we just kind of started talking about it, and then I set a goal for myself. I said, I'm going to run a half marathon, and I asked her if she would run with me to train me, 'cause, again, had no clue as to what was going on. And she did. So she helped me run my first half marathon. She trained me to run my first half marathon.
Yeah.
So green. And I just look back on that experience and just well, what was I thinking? I never trained on a hill, no incline, no strength training. I was just out there running. And I was thinking I could run the half marathon as fast as a 5K. Oh, Lord.
Did you finish the half marathon?
I did.
There we go.
2 hours and 6 minutes.
Okay.
I did.
Not as fast as a 5K.
No.
But you also, you embraced in high school, hey, I came to run track and they're making me run cross country. And then you realized, hey, having that volume, having that base of some extra miles under my belt actually helped me be a better track athlete. So I'm gonna voluntarily run cross country at university, in college to help you. And then obviously you loved it enough or accepted that as a goal that you wanted to chase, and then achieved that goal.
Yeah.
So how many half marathons have you run since then?
A lot. And that actually happened when I moved to Virginia. So the run community here is amazing, and that was something that I didn't have back in Ohio.
Shout them out. Who are you running with now?
Well, NERC, okay, North End Run Club, pow
Yeah.
pow. So that's the main group, and then I also run with another group called FOMO.
Okay.
It's like a little smaller run group, but I run with them as well. Anywhere I can, honestly, but those are the two main. But again, I haven't been running much.
And we run plenty here in CrossFit. You know, I make
Compound.
I make y'all run plenty. Yeah. So yeah, you like to run Compound CrossFit?
Yes.
Check us out. And we did run club in the spring or in the fall when the weather was nice. We cut that out once it got frigid this past winter. But it'll come back. Don't worry.
But you know what? The one thing I will say I love about Virginia, unlike Ohio, I get to run all year. Ohio, I did not have that opportunity.
Put your snowshoes on.
Put your snowshoes on, and you get out there and pray. But Virginia just really opened my eyes and gave me a lot more opportunity to get some miles on these feet.
Now you're not necessarily solely running. You've started to evolve. What does fitness look like for you now?
You know, honestly, Mike, I just want to be able to just live a healthy life, right? I just want to be able to do all the things. I don't want to have to not do something because I don't have the endurance or the stamina or the mobility to do it. I just want to be able to get up and go. If you're like, hey, let's go hike a trail. Even though I like heights, I'm like, all right, let's go. Like, I'll do it. So yeah, fitness is important to me because I want to be able to just live life to the fullest and not be held back due to limitations.
What I hear underlying that is independence.
Yeah.
Rather than having to be dependent on others, you've got the capacity to do lots of different things. Even if you don't necessarily want to, like, oh, fine, I'll go on this hike. But you can say yes to that. You're not forced to opt out because your body and mind as well, right? I think that there's definitely a mental side to training.
Yes.
What besides the physical benefits of being able to navigate the world and do that gracefully, what about the other side that might not be so physically visible?
The mental side of things, it definitely gives me the confidence, or I might be a little bit more willing to try something that I wouldn't have necessarily been open to before. So the mental side is huge. It's a huge component. The daily grind to get up, and I don't even think of it as a grind. That is like, it's like my addiction. If I'm not addicted to drugs or anything of that nature. I'm addicted to like health and fitness and the high that I get from it. Monday, when I came in here to work out, I was on cloud 9 for like 8 hours.
Let's loop back to that. pause there on Monday. I want to rewind a couple weeks.
Okay.
We're not going to go into like insane detail, but you had an injury.
Yes.
And that set you back a little bit.
Yes.
Talk to me about, first of all, the surgery. You're still in recovery.
Yes.
But give me just a quick update on where we're at with that.
Just so happened to rupture my left Achilles. So had surgery on, March 11th?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Freak accident. I was here. I didn't even see it happen. I turned around for a split second and I turned back and you were like, you weren't even in pain. You were just like at something and I was like, whoa. So
yeah.
Luckily Coach Bella was here, who's a firefighter. And
yes.
And
assessing me.
Yeah. And so that was tough. I know mentally that was tough. You were trying to train for another race.
I was going to sign up for the Open.
Yeah.
I just told you that morning I was going to sign up for the Open, and the Achilles had a different plan for me. But back to your point, the mental piece of it was very, very challenging. And to be honest with you, I still kind of struggle with it. To go from being very active to not. What? Right? I couldn't run, I couldn't lift, I couldn't do anything but just sit. That was tough. Having to depend on others. We just talked about having the independence. That was stripped away from me. And so I really had to lean on other people to help me during this craziness.
And you've got a bunch of really cool people in your corner.
I have some cool people in my circle.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're lucky.
I'm very.
A lot of folks, they end up in a dependence type of situation where they can't rely on themselves, and then they don't have anybody around them, and then what? That's a devastating situation sometimes. And yours is acute. You're going to recover. You're already back at the gym. Dude, so Monday, you show up, you've been down, you've been forced the one thing, your outlet, your one thing. You've got an addictive personality for one thing and one thing only, and that is moving your body and testing your brawn and your brain. And it's taken away from you. And then you finally, the clouds part. The doctor says you're allowed to bear some weight. You get the fancy boot. You show up Monday.
Yeah, because I text you and I said, I'm back, baby. I'm coming home. I was so excited. And yeah, I came in and I was just glad to be here, honestly. Just the walk through the door and the smell of gym. Not that it smells in here, but...
The smell of disinfectant. We mop several times a day.
And wipe our things now, our gadgets.
Yeah.
But it felt so good just to physically see the people, to be in this space and to be able to work out. Obviously I have to modify, but I was on cloud nine. Yeah, for a very long time.
What are some things, since you've been back for about a week, that you've done in this week that you thought you wouldn't do for maybe months or maybe up to a year? And you've already done this week.
Okay, the rower.
So we've rowed already. We've been on the rower.
Yes. And
that was tricky. We kind of did a weird thing where we set up two rowers next to each other.
Yes.
Slide the leg on one.
I ain't gonna lie. That was cool.
Yeah.
I wasn't, when you said it, I'm like, I don't know what he has up his sleeve, but I trusted the process. See what happens when you trust. But I also got the chance, instead of doing box overs, I did the step overs on the
box step overs.
Yeah.
We've got some
on the mat
boxes that are, I think it was the 9-inch or something like that, or 6-inch. Yeah.
Just the cushy one.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. We played with the battle ropes.
Battle ropes.
Had you done that before? Is that something you played with at all?
A little bit at home. I used the battle ropes and I did the kettlebell swings.
Nope. Yep.
Yep. So I I don't have recording of it, but I stood on the plate to help balance the hips.
Right, because we've got the boot on, there's going to be potentially an imbalance, and the last thing we want to do is cause some other deficiency in balance and hip stuff, and yeah. Dude, you're back.
I'm back.
Oh,
I'm back.
And it's, what do you feel like you've learned already just in this 1 week back, just that turnaround from high hopes for a new race and a new competition, doing the CrossFit Open, then immediately in an instant having that seemingly taken away, and then being super dependent, and then being back? Like, what have you learned through that kind of high, then back down, then back up?
I learned that I'm not invincible, because I felt like I had the attitude of, not necessarily it won't happen to me, but I was very confident that I wouldn't hurt myself, right? Because I am active, I am physical, but that can all be taken away from you, right? And so I am just grateful to be surrounded by people, caring people who care about my well-being, and to make sure that I have everything that I need, and to be grateful. I will always be grateful to be able to move my body, and to be patient with myself, and also to give myself grace. I think there are moments when we don't give ourselves enough grace, and I'm learning that. I'm currently learning that.
Who would think that through fitness we'd learn all these things? You know, you sounds like you really learned a lot about yourself. You know,
Constantly
internally.
learning. I'm constant learning. I do a lot of self-reflecting to improve myself, to be a better coach, friend. I always try to be self-aware, and so this injury has also allowed me to do that.
Talk to me about the strong her.
After 50.
After 50, strong her.
Yes.
Not stronger, strong her.
Yes.
So we're talking about to women 50 plus. Why? I mean, obviously that's important to you because you're in that range.
Because I'm in that range, right? I feel like when you're in your 20s, you don't think about it at all, right? And then I remember being in my 30s, and I was still active. But you know, in your 30s, your metabolism slowed down, and I'm like, that's not gonna happen to me. Well, it did, right? My weight started to fluctuate. And then in my 40s, the latter part of my 40s, I think that's when I really start taking it more seriously and become more consistent. I think early on in my 20s, 30s, it was more of a look. I want to have the abs. I want to be lean. I want to, do all the things. I want to wear a bikini. But there's a shift. When you become mature, you start looking at things differently. At least for me, I did. And again, that just comes back to the independence. I don't know if I shared with you, about 3 years ago, my mom ended up having a stroke while she was visiting me. And that was very pivotal. We already know that we have heart disease in our family. And I have said for the longest time, I'm going to do my very best to try to avoid certain things like high blood pressure as long as I can. Like, I may not be able to diminish it, but I'm going to fight it as long as I can. And I have for the most part. I mean, I just started taking blood pressure medicine. I'm like almost 52. There's people that's younger than me that's on the medication. And so her having that stroke did something to me. It just propelled me to move forward and to be more consistent and just to take fitness seriously. So it's not necessarily a look, Now, I'm receiving those benefits of the look because I am so active and I'm out there. But I just want to give myself a fighting chance. And I think we all should. I'd rather invest in the gym versus a medical bill.
Amen. So look, you know, I had these conversations from time to time, running a fitness facility, and membership prices come up. It's like, would you rather pay 4 weeks to come and throw down and have fun with your friends and learn some new skills, or would you rather pay for medications and copays? Right? Like you're gonna pay either way.
Right, but here's the deal, Mike. I was that person, and then I was that person that was very cost conscious, and not to say that you shouldn't be, but I had the membership at Planet Fitness. I had I had those memberships. I tried going to the rec center, but I never showed up. For me, the investment wasn't big enough, I guess, to say, okay, I'm paying this amount, I need to show up.
Kind of a forced commitment almost.
Kind of.
I also, I want to loop this back to, you came up running on a team, right? And you were an athlete. And you mentioned it, one of the most important things when you came back on Monday was seeing the people.
Yeah.
I feel like for you, it's also the community. You don't run only because you love to run. You run because you love the crews and the run clubs.
Yeah.
You know? And so that accountability of having other people there to go like, hey, you gonna come do this partner workout with me? Or
where you at?
yeah. Everybody was asking about you, and when you came back, everybody's like, oh, I saw Monique's name on the board.
Yeah. It's great. It's great, but I think it just comes down to prioritizing and what you find important to you, because we all can make changes. We do what we want to do, right? We change. We make changes for whatever we want to make happen. If we know that there's a reward for getting up in the morning and coming to the gym, 9 times out of 10 people do that. If they feel like they're not getting anything from it, then they make all excuses that they want. But at the same time, you have to be consistent. You can't come once a week or once a month and think you're going to drop 10 pounds or increase your weight, right? That's not going to happen. So you have to do your part and show up. So again, I'm a big proponent in terms of if I'm going to invest in myself, I'm going to do it 100%, 1,000%.
Yeah, and which probably made sense why the Globo Gym membership, was kind of a half in for you. But once you went all in, you were all in.
So my bestie, I don't want to say she introduced me to CrossFit, but she invited me, right, to the friends and family. And your mentor was trying to get me to sign up, and I said, no, if I sign up, I have to sign up with Mike.
And I told you, you're crazy. Go do CrossFit anywhere if you're interested even a little bit. And at the same time, you still found your way here. So tell me, what do you think would be, it doesn't have to be the biggest, but a misconception of a woman that's 50 plus walking into a CrossFit affiliate? What is a misconception that you feel like you could put to rest that you've experienced? Hey, this is not something
that you have to be strong.
Okay, tell me more.
Yeah, you have to be strong. I think I had a different idea as to what CrossFit was. And I think maybe I got this idea just from watching it on the television. Who knows? But I just felt like you had to be like this extremely strong person to be able to do CrossFit. And I also didn't realize there was other skills involved. I thought it was just lifting. So there's that piece. And yeah, that was pretty much it.
Did that frighten you a little bit because you didn't have experience with the barbells? Is that what maybe held you off a little bit?
Yeah, I would say. I've played with it a couple of times, but nothing. It was just a few times. Nothing to like change my mind. To be like, yeah, I'm gonna try this out. It wasn't until Lexi started inviting me, and then she would talk about it, and I could hear her excitement speaking on it. And then you and I would just talk about workouts in general. And so, yeah, it kind of like piqued my interest. And then that great day, a 6 o'clock morning class, I came in, you had me hanging from the bar. I should have ran then, but I didn't.
You're caught. You're trapped in the cult now.
I'm a part of the cult.
How do you feel about that barbell now?
I love it. I love it. Deadlift is my jam. So close, 275, almost 300. That was the last.
And had you deadlifted any significant weight before that? Did you do any deadlifting when you were training at college? Or?
No. In high school and college, I barely picked up a weight.
So
it just wasn't. I'm sure the programs are different now, but back when I was a part of it, I didn't lift any weights. So, and it's just to lift 275 pounds, I feel like a badass.
Spoiler alert, you are.
Do you know from the first time I did a deadlift to this last one, 100 pounds over a year, or maybe a little under a year, 100 pounds.
100 pounds. That's great.
170.
That's got to be empowering.
It's very, like, I'm telling you, I feel like a badass when I come in here and I'm throwing around some weights.
Yeah.
To do a power clean, yeah.
Another thing I love about your content that's really cool is watching your progression and you doing some of your before and afters where you'll have, hey, here's me 8 months ago with a 65-pound barbell, and here's me today with a 105-pound barbell, moving better with more weight and more confidence, and that's a cool contrast because now that I'm a movement junkie, I love seeing the improvement, not just in the weight on the bar, but in
like your
the
technique.
movement. Yeah. Bingo.
Yes, for the longest time, you were like, get them elbows up, because I kept having them down. But yeah, I love it. I love it. I mean, everyone here is very helpful, and they're encouraging. So I love it. And back to the before and after, I don't know if you saw my wall walks when I first came.
Back to the gymnastics stuff.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool before and after.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So as far as the podcast goes, I kind of bullied you into this. But
you didn't bully me.
Okay.
You didn't bully me.
What's the importance of this for you?
The importance is not necessarily education, but to build a community of women, mature, and it's open to all, but specifically my demographic, to encourage women my age to get out there, to be physical. It doesn't have to be CrossFit, but I would like for them to try it if they're open to it, because it's big. Like CrossFit is big, and I say that because I'm gonna go back to the injury. I had to use crutches to get around and to navigate. I'm not sure what I would have done if I didn't have CrossFit to allow me to be mobile with the crutches. It's a lot of work. You're carrying your body weight around, right? Because I can't put pressure on this leg, so I'm carrying my body upstairs, downstairs, walking to the car. And this is before, even with the scooter, I can't carry the scooter up and down the stairs, but
Yeah, not going to take that thing up 3 flights.
yeah, but to be able to like get myself around using those crutches, yeah.
And not just the strength to do it, but as you alluded to from working some gymnastic stuff, the coordination and the balance and potentially the agility. I don't mean like juking anybody, but if you step wrong and you land on the wrong foot, that's going to be a problem. Right? Curbs are now danger for you.
Listen, I had to my sister came to visit me a few weeks ago because I was supposed to run the Shamrock, right, the race, and we were at the apartment. I was so over the crutches. I just gave her the crutches, and I literally hopped up every step. I hopped up every step because I was so over the crutches. So yeah, I wouldn't have not been able to do that if it wasn't for CrossFit. Just being, again, physical and making sure that I can live an independent life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
So this has been a fantastic conversation. I want you to wrap up with what kind of conversations are you hoping to have on the Rise and Thrive podcast? What types of people, and maybe you can kind of reach out to them now if they're watching. They might go like, hey, I've got a story or I've got some insight. What kind of conversations are you hoping to have?
I would like to have like those intimate conversations in terms of like some of the stereotypes women may have about CrossFit. I would like to, again, create a community and we can share maybe best practices. Mike, that's such a great question.
I don't think there's an answer.
I just want us women to get together, support each other, empower one another, and just continue to uplift and support.
And that loops us right around to where we started from, is that you are always such a supportive person, that you having a podcast where you can have unique conversations that allow other folks to get some insight, to gain some courage, to get some inspiration. Just snowballs, right?
Yeah.
You were surrounded by good. It's like emitting from you, and the positivity and your smile and your compassion for where people are at and where you're at. This is going to be a really cool journey. So thank you. I really appreciate this. I can't wait to see who's going to be on the podcast with you next.
Yeah.
I've got some ideas I'd love to line you up with.
Of course.
And but I know it's going to be something fantastic. So you're awesome. You are badass.
No, that's you.
So that was the first episode of the Rise and Thrive. Strong Her After 50. Monique is somebody that you want to reach out to. If any of this sounded just a little bit intriguing, if you've got something that you want to share, it doesn't have to be crazy long-winded. Although I'm going to warn you, if you get talking to her, it's going to go beyond 5 minutes. There's just no way around it. I know she's got way more stories to tell than what we've gone over here. So keep tuned in. I'm excited. We're excited. Stay tuned. Episode 2 is going to be coming up. That was our third episode of the Better Together podcast and Monique's first episode of Rise and Thrive, Strong Her After 50 podcast. I was so excited to be able to introduce her to our community, although most of us already know her, but also introduce her to her community. So check her out. We're going to link her podcast. I want you to follow her. She's going to be taking that thing through the roof. Like I said, her short form content is super catchy, super fun, but I know the conversations she's going to have moving forward are going to be just as valuable, if not more. So check that out. We'll link that to our podcast. Like, subscribe, ring the bell for notification, leave a comment. If you want to check us out at Compound CrossFit, we do have introductory classes. We teach you guys from the ground up, so you don't have to come in knowing anything about CrossFit. If you already are a CrossFitter, drop in, check us out. We've got memberships for unlimited once you find out you love it, and we can't wait to have you.